She wrote to my mother, and my mother couldn't handle it because Judith was saying, like, I would like to know more about the patterns of alcoholism and addiction in our family. And of course, my mother was like, oh my God, what's she talking about? There's no alcoholics in our family, blah, 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 blah. What am I supposed to do? Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And I just said, give me the letter. I'll handle it. My first letter to her is dated March 1989. So I would have received the letter from her a week or so before that in March of 1989. I was 35. She would have been about 38 or 39. Judith always claimed she didn't know her own birthday. Her father was my mother's older brother, and I didn't know her mother that much. They were in California. I grew up in Indiana mostly. We didn't travel much. So they were just names to me. Her father was a horrible person, and he was a raging alcoholic, and according to Judith, he sexually abused her and her siblings. Judith got into drugs. She was in a recovery program, and she knew nothing about her family. She wrote to my mother, and my mother couldn't handle it. Judith always said, Jean's mother sent me a letter saying, that there were no alcoholics in the family, and then Jean sent me a letter saying that everybody was an alcoholic in the family. We connected. I asked her, I would like to continue writing to you. How do you feel about it? So we started writing to each other very regularly. I was an only child. My parents were older and not very good parents. And Judith's parents were not parents at all, and we found something in each other. We each found a person that we could talk to and share with, and we each found family. She'd been ill and in pain for a good year before she died, but none of us knew it was cancer. And then when we got the word, she only had another 6 to 8 weeks, and then she was gone. I didn't start this book until 8 years after her death. I couldn't. I was stuck. I was mourning. I was angry. I was in shock. People would say to me things like, well, you've got to heal your grief. And it's like, okay, tell me how to do that and I'll get started. Writing the book was very therapeutic, and I did feel better when it was done, but in terms of did it heal my grief? No. I mean, that took a long, 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 long time. Shortly before her death, I promised Judith that I would create a memorial program for her. And I did, and it was called the Judith Dawn Memorial Fund for the Arts. I just always remembered Judith. She needed money for paint. She reused canvases constantly. She would try to exhibit at fairs or art shows or whatever, and there were always fees. Everything was expensive. And she used to say, why do you have to spend so much money when you don't have any money and you're trying to make money? The Judith Dawn Memorial Fund for the Arts ran for about 12 years. These were survivors of rape or sexual abuse who needed funds in order to pursue the creative arts as a way of healing. I started thinking about all the things that people needed in addition to money. One of the things that came cropping up over and over was that people needed space for performances, for rehearsals, for display. So that was how Awakenings got started. I concentrated on running Awakenings. Kept growing and growing and growing and getting harder and more complicated. And then, of course, a lot of things changed, pandemic. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The people who took over for Awakenings were able to do a wonderful job of kind of redirecting Awakenings and keeping their programming alive during the pandemic. I'm pretty busy these days. I'm continuing the mission. Judith is still a part of it. She and I were survivors of childhood sexual abuse, something that people still don't want to talk about and people are woefully ignorant about. A certain person I'd worked with in the past named Derek read some of my writings and got reacquainted with me again and decided that the world needed to hear everything I had to say. So now I'm a podcaster. Our podcast is now called Project 42.
In one place, we have a podcast where we're interviewing people in the nonprofit sector, we're interviewing business people, we're interviewing people at every level of the problem and having a really collaborative conversation about what it is.
There are 42 million survivors of sexual abuse in this country. People say, Jean, why do what inspires you? What makes you do what you do? I don't know. All I know is I don't know how not to do it. And as long as I'm here, this is going to be what I'm doing.